Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to our channel. What if I told you that the biggest comeback in music history didn't come from a brand new artist, a viral trend, or a billion-dollar marketing campaign, but from 7 men who spent years in military uniforms, holding rifles instead of microphones? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will completely understand why the entire music world is losing its mind right now over one word, ARIRANG. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell right now. This channel covers BTS and music culture with real depth, real facts, zero clickbait, and you do not want to miss what's coming next. Drop a purple heart in the comments if you're already feeling the energy. Let's go. Let's go back to 2022 for a second. BTS, the biggest band on the planet, steps on stage at the Permission to Dance on Stage concert and delivers the announcement that shook every army to the core. They were going on hiatus. Not breaking up, but pausing. Each member would pursue solo work, and then one by one, they would enlist in South Korea's mandatory military service. For many fans, this felt like watching a candle go out. The question on everyone's mind was the same: would they come back the same? Would the magic still be there? Would BTS 2.0 actually mean something, or was it just a phrase the label threw out to keep fans calm? Well, the answer dropped on March 20, 2026. And the answer is yes. 1,000 times, yes. But before we get to the numbers, and trust me, those numbers are going to make your jaw drop, we need to talk about what ARIRANG actually means. Because this isn't just a cool album title. This is the entire soul of the project, and once you understand it, the whole era hits completely differently. ARIRANG is the name of one of the most famous Korean folk songs in history. It's a melody that has been sung by Korean people through centuries of joy, sorrow, and resistance. But here's the detail that genuinely gave me chills when I first read it. In 1896, over 130 years ago, 7 young Korean men traveling in America left behind what is considered the very first recorded Korean song performed on foreign soil. That song was ARIRANG. 7 Korean men, in a foreign land, facing language barriers and cultural isolation, proving their existence through music. Sound familiar? 7 men. Music. A foreign land. The world watching. BTS chairman Bang Si-hyuk described this connection as feeling less like a coincidence and more like a shared, enduring destiny. He said the members returning from military service in 2025 and stepping back onto the global stage felt like a direct echo of those 7 men from 130 years ago. Big Hit Music officially stated that ARIRANG, the album, captures BTS's identity as a group that began in Korea. This is not just a comeback. This is BTS planting a flag and saying, "We know who we are, and we are not afraid to show the whole world." Now here is something that makes this album even more special. ARIRANG is BTS's first and only album with absolutely 0 solo tracks or unit songs. Every single track features all 7 members. After years of being apart, after solo albums, solo tours, military service, they came back and made something entirely together. That was intentional. That was a message. And ARMY felt every bit of it. The album was produced with an incredible lineup of collaborators. Diplo served as the lead producer overseeing the entire creative process. They also worked with Ryan Tedder, Kevin Parker, Mike Will Made It, Artemis, and JPG Mafia, among others. The album opens with Body to Body, which samples the traditional Korean folk song ARIRANG itself, immediately grounding everything in cultural heritage before launching into something entirely modern. Hooligan features a dramatic chopped-up string arrangement with powerful vocals from V and Jimin. Fire blends pop rap with Jersey club energy. Merry Go Round goes full psychedelic rock. Like Animals is a sweeping pop rock ballad. And then there is Swim, the 7th track, which was specially highlighted in black on the official track listing reveal, a song that has become an obsession for fans and critics alike since the moment it dropped. The process behind the album is just as fascinating as the music itself. Before all 7 members had even finished their military service, Bang Si-hyuk and the creative team were already laying the groundwork. In early 2025, pre-song camps were held in Los Angeles, producing around 100 prototype tracks. Then in July 2025, once all members had completed their service, the full group gathered at a private retreat in Gyeonggi Province. They spent a full day listening through every prototype, debating, and asking themselves one central question: what can BTS do now? What should BTS do now? And what can only BTS do? The answer they arrived at was clear. BTS 2.0 cannot be an extension of the past. It had to be a declaration that opens an entirely new chapter. RM confirmed through Weverse on August 22, 2025 that the band was working diligently on the new album. And on November 1, 2025, Jimin told fans the album was finished. Then on New Year's Eve, fans with gold member status in South Korea actually received handwritten postcards from the group hinting at the comeback date. This group does not do things halfway. Now, let's talk about the numbers. Because some of you might still be thinking, is this actually as big as everyone is saying, or is it just hype? Let me give you the facts, and these are all verified. ARIRANG sold 4.2 million copies in its first week in South Korea alone, immediately making it one of the best-selling albums in the entire history of the country. On Spotify, the album received 110 million streams on its very first day, making it the most streamed album on the platform on its release day in all of 2026. It then went on to surpass 1 billion total streams in just 16 days, the fastest any group and any Asian act has ever reached that milestone in Spotify history. On the Billboard 200, ARIRANG debuted at number 1 with 641,000 album equivalent units in its first week, 532,000 of which were pure album sales. That is the largest single week by units for a group since Billboard began tracking this metric in December 2014. And they held that number 1 spot into the second week, making ARIRANG the first BTS album to spend multiple consecutive weeks at the top of the chart. 12 tracks from the album appeared in the top 26 spots of the US Spotify chart simultaneously. On Apple Music, the album broke the record for the most first-day streams ever for a pop group's album. Still think it's just hype? But here is the moment that arguably defined this entire era. On March 21, 2026, the day after the album released, BTS performed a live concert called BTS The Comeback Live ARIRANG at Gwanghwamun Square, the historic plaza in front of Gyeongbokgung Palace in the heart of Seoul. This was streamed live and exclusively on Netflix, marking the first time in the platform's history that a concert was broadcast live rather than presented as a recorded film. The result? 18.4 million global viewers tuned in simultaneously. The stream reached Netflix's weekly top 10 in 80 countries and hit number 1 in 24 countries. That is the scale of what BTS's return looks like. Then on March 27th, Netflix also premiered BTS: The Return, a full documentary going behind the scenes of the making of ARIRANG, giving fans an intimate look at everything from the Los Angeles recording sessions to the emotional reunion workshops back in Korea. And now we get to what happens next. Because the album is just the beginning. On April 9, 2026, today, as many of you are watching this, BTS officially kicks off the ARIRANG World Tour at Goyang Stadium in South Korea. And this is not just any tour. We are talking about 82 shows across 34 cities in 23 countries, running from April 2026 all the way through March 2027. It is already being described as the largest K-pop concert tour in history. The tour covers South Korea, Japan, North America, Europe, and Latin America, with stops in Colombia, Peru, Chile, Argentina, and Brazil, before moving through Southeast Asia including Jakarta, Singapore, Bangkok, and Kuala Lumpur in late 2026, and wrapping up in Manila, Philippines in March 2027. Tickets for South Korea, North America, and all European dates sold out within hours of going on sale. Entire stadium runs gone. Promoters had to rush in additional dates for cities like Lima, Santiago, and Buenos Aires just to meet demand. The stage itself features a fully immersive 360-degree setup, with fans surrounding the performance from all sides, no bad seats, no one facing a screen. Just total immersion from every angle. And here is one final piece of this story that I think is genuinely poetic and deserves its own moment. On April 9, 2026, the very same day the world tour begins, ARIRANG International Broadcasting, also known as ARIRANG TV, is holding its 30th anniversary ceremony in Seoul. And BTS has been chosen to receive a contribution award for their role in introducing Korean culture to global audiences and offering hope and inspiration to viewers worldwide. This relationship goes back to 2013, the very beginning, when BTS appeared on ARIRANG TV programs like Simply K-pop and After School Club as a brand new group barely anyone outside Korea knew. Those early international appearances helped them connect with fans across the world before they had the platform they have today. Now, over a decade later, they stand on the same stage receiving an award from that same broadcaster, on the day their biggest world tour ever begins, with an album also named ARIRANG. If that is not a full circle moment, I genuinely do not know what is. This era feels different because it is different. BTS has had enormous eras before. Map of the Soul. Butter. Permission to Dance. But ARIRANG carries a different kind of weight. These 7 men went through something that almost no global superstar has ever gone through. They paused everything. They served their country. They came back not as polished pop machines executing a label strategy, but as people who had genuinely grown, genuinely changed, and had something real to say. ARIRANG is the result of that. Korean identity meeting global ambition. Tradition meeting innovation. 7 men telling the world, we went away, we came back, and we are more ourselves than we have ever been. And the world responded in the biggest way possible. So that is the full story of the ARIRANG era, the comeback album, the record-shattering numbers, the Netflix live concert watched by 18 million people, the world tour that just began today, and the beautiful cultural circle that ties all of it together. Now I want to hear from you. What is your favorite track on ARIRANG? And are you going to any of the world tour dates? Drop it in the comments, I read every single one. If this video gave you something new or just made you love BTS even more, please give it a like, it genuinely helps this channel more than you know. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now, real content, real facts, always. And share this video with a fellow ARMY who needs to understand just how historic this moment is. Until next time, stay purple. Purple Heart BTS, we waited. And it was worth every single second. Annyeong.